Let me check if the voice quality is good. Hello. 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 Okay, so my voice quality is good. Yeah. Okay, so this is done. Let me start with this one. So, guys, welcome to another uh, live session of Postgres SQL learning. And nobody joined. That's cool. So it's a self-learning anyway, so I don't mind. So right now, what we're gonna learn? So we're gonna learn about few of the new keywords like count, min, max, sum, and the last one was I forget, average. Okay, so we're gonna learn about this all this thing. So if you're new, first thing you have to do, you have to come to this channel. Okay, and subscribe this one because all the information about our live session, everything comes here. Then simply go to the description and you have to do two things very importantly. First one is to go to your LinkedIn account and follow me because there I upload a lot of different articles, a lot of very insightful facts, figure questions. So it is more entertaining than YouTube because in YouTube I cannot cover everything. In GitHub, you simply click it. You're gonna go to my LinkedIn GitHub directory, and there you have to go to this particular repository SQL. Inside this one, go to number 4. One, these are step by step all the topic covered. So you can simply go one by one. And if you don't want to go one by one, simply go to here, go to playlist, and in the playlist, the SQL 0 to hero is there. All the corresponding thing that I learned for a day, I summarize it in a small short video like 5 or 6 minutes. It's very quick to do without much of requiring. Simply do it. Mm. So this is done. Let's close this one. As for the roadmap, yesterday we have done the distinct and nullity. Today we're gonna start with count, sum, average, min, and max. Okay. And what resource we follow? We follow the official website of PostgreSQL. Here we're gonna search for them. What we are looking for? We are looking for aggregated function. These are aggregated function. Okay. So let's see. It can be found in this one. No, it's not here. Equal manipulation data type function and operator. Query concur. It should be here, right? Function and operators. Let's see operator. Function extract this one. Exit. Aggregation should be here, right? So syntax, dynamics, permanent data type, function, operator type, conversion, index, full text search, concurrency, performance, and failure. Installation, ERPPL. It should be here, dude. Let me let's check for this tutorial first. Architecture access. This is done. Current new table, aggregated function. Dude, view for okay. Concept creating a table, populating table row, creating a table. Then aggregation. SQL language. In aggregation, we have max. Dude, what's that? I think it should be in function, right? Function. Data management query functions. It should be here. Logical, mathematical, string, binary, pattern, date, num, geographical tags, XML, JSON, manipulating, sequence manipulation function with this. That's different. Aggregated function. This is on aggregated window function. We do go aggregated function. Okay, so we got some everything in detail. Okay, now let's see what kind of aggregation we have. So let's start our learning. Okay, so we are very clear that how we gonna do. So we're gonna have four session of 25 minutes, and each session have like 5 minutes of break in between, so 25. This is the first session. In this session we totally talk about the previous day thing that we have done, or revision kind of a thing. Okay, so yesterday we talked about distinct and null handling. Right. I will go with the distinct, and then we will go to null handling. Distinct, what it says, it can be done in two ways. First one is distinct, and then the column name or your identifier names. Okay. Second, you can do distinct on, then the expression, then the column name, column two, analyze whatever it is. Okay. This one, it will give you unique value for this combination. Okay, so one two, suppose the value was 1 2, it will be remain 1 2. There won't be a second 1 2. It will throw error. It will throw error. It will give you only 1 2. There won't be any repetition of this one. What this done, it evaluate the expression for this particular row, and it does for every row. Okay, now whichever this one have the duplication, they will remove it, only keeping the first one. That's it. And this is very, very unique or different that I never thought of, like this thing on is also there. So these two are things. One important thing you should know, and in the distinct, null is treated as a value. So don't think that you cannot compare like unique, right? How they are not able to compare null with a null. But here, if two rows have null and null, it will give you only single null. Because in distinct, it acts as a value. That's the thing. For null, there are three parameters on which we learn how to handle a null handling. First one is with the where clause, where we check for the null value, whether it's a null or not, and just return a boolean. So we use doing a combination of keyword called is null or is not null. If the column is null, it will give me true. If it's not null, it will give me false. And then we can process based on this one. Second is the fallback. So suppose you have 5 and 6 thing that you want to keep it, and if everyone is null, you return a default value. So you use coalesce. What coalesce does, take a sequence of variable or any value, and it give you the first non-null value. Suppose for your contact, you need to make sure there should be something there. Okay, not you don't want no, you don't need something. So you know that 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 you put a phone number first. If in case phone number column is not there, there is none. It will search for email ID. If email ID is not there, it will put the uh, office address. If office address is not there, then you put not applicable as a string. So, so it will search. If it's a value, it will go here. If not, it's a null. It will go and fetch this value and check if it's a null or not. If it's null, it will move third and it check whether it's a null or not. And Then it will move to this one, and ultimately it's a default value, it will give that value. In case everything is null, then you can't do anything, it will remain null. Let me open the PG admin as well. Meanwhile, we are studying. That's the second way of handling called fallback, okay, when you replace. Third one is there are few times when a value, a certain value might break your system. For example, there an expression say x divided by y. Suppose y is 0, you throw an error and your entire system got failed or stopped working. That you don't want, right? So simply you can write that in, in any time, you can write here, if any time y is 0, just make it null. Why? Because you know null is contagious. So if you do any mathematical operation with it, it will always yield null, be it multiplication, be it division, be it anything, addition, subtraction. It is contagious, so it will give you null. Okay. So you will write x divided by y, but y you will rewrite as null if y is 0. That means it compare if at given a point of time y's value is 0, it will automatically replace this entire thing with a null. And if it's not, it will automatically return y. Simple. So these are the three way of handling null that we learned in yesterday. And distinct, we learned two things: distinct, the identifier, distinct on expression, and then the identifiers. Okay, and in the distinct, null is treated as the same values. Okay, so it doesn't act as something different; it acts as value. So now today we're gonna focus on aggregation. So before even we start, what is aggregation that we're gonna learn in this one? And for this one, I think we already opened this one. Okay, so we can close everything else. Now we will start aggregation. What is aggregation? So aggregation function compute a single result from a set of input value. What is that single value that we need to understand? So what it does, it will convert the entire sequence or set of value into a single value, it converge into single value. But what is that single value, right? So I understood one thing from the definition, that if a given point of time I have a set of value, a collection of values with aggregation, okay, with aggregation, I can convert into a single value, scalar, or a single value, one value. Okay, this conversion of set of value into one value is done through aggregation that we learned. Okay, now the built-in general purpose aggregation function are listed in table 6.02. This is the one general purpose. This is general purpose. You can use it anywhere. This one, uh, built in. So statistically, dude, okay. Built-in within group order set aggregation function are listed in 6.4. What it says, the while statistical aggregates are in table 63. Statistical, what is statistical? Okay. And what is number 4? 64, which are built in within the group hypothetical set 1, that are 61 grouping operators which are closely related. We don't have to look all this. These are based on different scenarios. I don't know like how, because we don't know statistical, right? So we're not going to use it. It's going to be useful for the people who are involved in statistics. So that might be useful, but for us it doesn't matter. We already know for aggregation we need these 5 things that we need to learn today. That should be our focus. We are time focused. Let's quickly go. Aggregation function that support partial mode are eligible to participate in various optimizations such as parallel aggregation. Let's see. Okay, while all aggregation below except an optional order by clause, the clause while all aggregation below except an optional order by clause. The clause has only been added to aggregates whose output is affected by ordering. Okay, okay, okay. Let's see. Function any value, any element, same as input type. Return an arbitrary value from the non-null input value. This I need to see any value. Yes, let's see it. Okay? So today we gonna do. Okay, let me first check if voice was good and the. Okay, yeah, I'm doing good. So any value, right? Any value, right? So today we're gonna do aggregate. So we will do select and the aggregate function was any underscore value and it says it can be null 1 2 5 7 6. All right, and I told you that select is a like you don't have to have select and from format or combo. It can execute individually. What it does, it execute this expression. Now there's an error here. It says select any value and there's an error. Is it a syntax any value? Okay. Elements. Partial mode. Return an arbitrary non-null input and white thing. Function. Any value does not exist. No function matched with a given name. Okay. Is it possible that I need to see if function is available here? Right now I'm using university, right? I use university this one. Let's check if they have function and I'm looking for public, right? Public. And do they have a function? FTPS template dictionary function. Yeah, I can see functions. This is empty here. Hmm. This is aggregate, right? It's aggregate. Uh, no function matches to the given name and argument. You might need to add explicitly typecast. Oh, uh, any integer typecast. How to do that? Let's ask Claude. That's why Claude is there, dude. I love Claude. I love Claude. I love Claude. I don't need this. New chat. Okay. Why it is failing? It save a lot of time, dude. Like, just ask. So I think it will give me an answer, but I want to understand why it is failing. So the query's failing does not work that way in SQL. Okay. Expression, but it says any element same as input type. Okay. Any value expression is an aggregate function that takes a single column slash expression across multiple rows and returns an arbitrary value from that set. It does not accept multiple argument that likely you are passing. Okay. Okay. So what you are trying to do is to pop first non-number value and or if you want to have random value from a list array. So random. plus 1. Any value look like exactly my column from table. Oh, ho, 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 ho. So that means you need to use a column rather than the value. I thought I can pass it same as like array or something. Let me ask if I can pass this as column series values. Okay, and this is I want to pass like this. Yes, you can. No, unset the work because unset turns the array into a column of rows, which only can one aggregate. Okay. Unnest. This work because unnest turned the array into column of rows, which in turn any value can then aggregate. Oh, this is interesting. This is literally interesting. This is interesting. STV. Wow. Unnest this one. Okay. Okay. Unnest and array. Let's see if this works. So I want to select in now. Let's see array. Okay. Let's move it to error. And I should put this in array format unless running. It's still not working. What does it say? Let's run array. This is interesting, though. This is literally okay. So now I got the array. This is the array I call. Okay, so everything is an array, but this array I want to create into number of rows. Okay, this entire cell I want to convert into column with multiple rows. So I will use unnest. This is nest. This is unnest. Right? And let's execute this thing. Perfect. Now this is something I can use to add any value. Now I need any value from this. This is interesting. Ah, mhm. Unless you might be able to self-return function from a literal element. Function calls cannot contain a set returning function call. Okay, so I cannot use this inside this unless I say we from select this one as we. Now I can or we how it does so array from a nest as TV. So if I write here as will it run? Dude. Interesting. So, guys, do you understand what I did? What I did is to convert this array that was inside one cell into multiple rows of a column using array and then unnest. But to convert this unnest one column with one column with multiple rows as a table, I have to define it as this one. But what will happen if I don't write this thing? I just write it like this. Let's see. I throw an error because now I'm trying to convert this as a table, which is not supposed. If I write as this, yep, it does work. It does work. And now if I do this and this, do you think it will take this again? Right. V is not defined, right? V is not defined. Let's see if it's V. But now the problem is V will. Okay. Hmm. That's one thing. Let's me do with a table I have created. Select the star from sample, right? You have a sample. Let's do it. What happened now? Comma. Where is comma? Line number 68. Yeah, dude. What it says from sample. Oh, okay, now this is done. I got this one. Now right, let's select any value from A from sample. As I want, right? I got one. Any value, why it is only one, dude? Why is one? Why is one? Why is one? A comma B, but I think it will fail. Yep. It can only take one column at a time. What about C? 3. What I can see, it is taking only the top value, dude. It is not even randomly taking any value. Yeah. Let me see. Any value, any elements, same as input type. Return an arbitrary value from a non-null input value. It's constant, dude. It's not even taking and this array aggregate. This is something we don't have to bother. I did it just for fun, and I learned something more than that. I learned unnest and how to create an array and then create an unnest. I can create one table. Oh my god! And I don't have to worry about creating the table structure and everything. Let me give you an example. If somebody tomorrow asks me, buddy, can you create one table for me without creating a table? Simply select I need array of items, say null, 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 3. And now I will convert it into array because it is stored entire thing as an element in a cell. Now I have to break that cell based on what? On the comma separation for it. So I will use unnest and simply. this one, and I will run it. I got the answer right. One, two, three, four. But, but, if I have to create multi rows, right? That means I should be able to have another array as two-dimensional. That's my understanding. I'm not sure how good I did, but I need to make sure the number of columns should be equal, or it will automatically take the value. Let's figure out. Okay, let's figure out. So it is not working. It is indeed not working. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Or why don't we simply put this as an element and then add this as also an element, right? Let's do this one. Okay, and I can say it too. Okay, okay. If unless not okay, I want to run now. Okay, everything got into the same one, right? You can see it here. You can see here everything is one. I don't know why, but I am enjoying this one. Okay, so you can see it here, everything in a one statement, right? Everything in one. And how it goes, this, comma, then this one, separation, this one. So it act as single entity and this as another entity. And if I do nest here and run it, see, it break this one. Now I need to break it again. Is it possible if I can unnest this as well? Let's see if I can do it. But I don't think it should be unnest. Uh, it will throw an error. It may throw an error. It cannot be done. I think if it indeed so, what will happen if I make it another array? I unnest it and make an. I don't know why what I'm doing, but this is look fun. No, it's not working. Let me ask Claude. But since I can unless unnest unnest array into a single column table, right? So is it possible to create a multi-column table using array and unnest? I want to do this one. This is interesting. Just look at it. Yes, absolutely multiple unset. So how you do it? Unset. Wow. Wow. I think I now understood how it goes, how it went. So instead of but but again I did the same, right? Why it failed? Right? I did this one. I did this, remove this, and remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this one, and I did array and this one, then this. Why it failed? Why unless fail here? Why? Let's do here star strict from this one. Let's run this one. Ah, but now it doesn't have this one. I need to provide a value. Let's say its table name is t because it's virtual, and then I want to provide a column name. Suppose and comma comma. The name changed. The name changed. Okay. So this is something I can't do as an expression. Oh, When I need to convert it to multiple table column, it's more than an expression and it cannot handle it. For it handling, I need to do it separately. Okay, makes sense. Okay, that means using this logic, I can create a table with data without getting my hands dirty with insert statement. And this will help me to execute my query without creating or occupying the space. And this is really good, cool, man, really cool. Like it's like creating a sample, or basically dummy is the right word, dummy table with records without occupying disk space, actual disk space, right? That's the one. Now let me take an example. How do it? Let's suppose select star from sample that I created, right? Let's run it. And this is one. Let's convert into this one. So select star from. Now I need to create a table. In table I will create using array. I will give three array, okay, of the same column. This one, and then I will nest each of them into row. These three as a like row, and nest to this one. Pivot. So let me show you with illustration that will make more sense to you. Suppose this is first array. Okay, this is the array, right? I want to convert it into tabular form like this one. So I need to pivot it, right? So this piversion or pivot can be done through nest. Okay, so if I have multiple columns like this one, this is converting into one column, right? Similarly, it will have one column where all the values will be columnized like this, and this will become a particular entity or table like this. Okay. So every array will represent the attribute of that corresponding entity, and you have to simply fill it. That's pretty awesome. And I think you should have the same number of elements in each array. If not, either it will put null at the end or it should be put at a different, but it will be more ambiguous and confusing. Therefore, I think it should fail. It should fail. Let me do this one first. Let me check this one. This is more interesting right now. Dude, I need to. I can't. Let me start the timer. This is the last. I won't go beyond this one. I will simply learn this one and then I will start working on this one because this is fun. This is literally fun. Okay, so now let me remove 5. Will it take null for a value? And if it indeed it gonna be first or last? But for me, I think it should fail because it is ambiguous. Ah, I was right. I was right on the first part that it took at the end. So it will start filling 1, 2, 3, and if there is less, it will automatically fill null. But I think technically it should fail. It should fail technically. If you are not defining properly, it should fail. Uh, Anyways, I got my answer. If you are not providing, it will fill whatever the data is from top to bottom, and if the bottom ones are missing, it will automatically put the null. This was interesting. Okay, so let me remove this one. I'm going to do it. So I need to create one virtual table without occupying the space. Select. Okay, restrict from. Now I will create virtual table. So how I'm going to create each and every column here. I'm going to put it as array. Okay, how 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 1 comma 2, then array 2, uh, a b c b a, and again b. Perfect. And now third array I'm going to create 3 2 1 3 2. Now what I want, each array represent the column, and each value represent one entity of that particular the one attribute of that particular attribute. So 1a, so this one here, 1 A represent the first element value 1 in this array, and the first A represent the attribute of that first element even, and this 3 again represent the attribute of even. Then 2 represent entity E2 attribute, B represent entity E2's attribute, and then again say what I want to pivot this array like this in a column A, then this one column B and column C. So it become my complete two-dimensional one. So I want to do is unset or no unnest unnest. So it's like removing the nesting nest. And if I run it, it will run it properly. What is there? See, have an error. And I can see there is a change in the color. That means it's missing here. Perfect. I should run now. Perfect. It does give. But the problem is like the column name is not matching properly, right? Because I need to find a column name. So I can write as P for the table name, and then the column name gonna be A, B, and C. I got the ABC right. And see, I gave it capital, it automatically converted to small. So it is case insensitive. Now I don't have to do a fancy of creating table. Like you should learn it. Obviously, we're gonna learn it. But every time I don't want to create this one because sometimes it may happen that the storage you are using you don't have access to simply write. So you cannot create a dummy table every time, and it's not even suggested to create multiple dummy tables. So if you want to check out if your logic is working, you can simply create this table or virtual table, and you're good to go. Okay, so let's run it. I learned this interesting thing, dude. I have to say. I will copy paste it in my notebook here. So this is really interesting. Was really interesting. Let me quickly go back here. Now this is done, right? I got the values now. Quickly go back to our this one. So average was one of the thing that we need to do average for, right? So AVG, what average does here? Like if we take average is given numeric real time, double precision, double, and we know in the data type, real is nothing but float 4. So float with a 4 digit, and it round, and it store the value till 6 digit on the right side of the decimal with accuracy. After 7, it is started rounding off. 7 will become round off. Similarly, with double precision, 50 is the maximum limit on the right side that it store exactly. 16 started getting round off. So 6 and 16, 6 and 15. So double precision is an interval that I'm not sure. Compute the average arithmetic mean of all the non-input values. Okay. 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 So it compute the arithmetic mean. But what is does compute the bitwise and of all non-input value. It does bitwise. Okay, so we can do bit as well, dude. Oh, bit or and okay, got it. This I will need to learn. I think this can be used for logicalizing something, but and or also can do that. Maybe some other cases that's more specific, but let's leave it. I mean, we not delve into much it, but we understood here that the average gonna work on numerical data type, be it integer or be it numeric or be it your decimal or interval, right? Let's quickly go here. We will write aggregate. And what we're gonna do? We're gonna do aggregation. What? Average. So we understood one thing. What aggregation does? Aggregation converge a series of values or series of elements into a single value. Conversion process we need to understand. What average does? Average is simply we add everything and divide by the number of people, number of elements there. So in general term, averaging means collecting all the things together and then redistributing. Let me give a very good example, very simple example to understand. Suppose there are three friends A, B, C. Okay, and ABC has some chocolate with among them. Like suppose A has five chocolate, this guy has three chocolate, and this has one chocolate. Okay, this is the ratio. First one has 5, 3, 1. So now this is the case. He gonna eat five. He gonna three. He gonna eat one. But if somebody comes and asks you that in case that Nitin, they are really good friend, A, B, C are really good friend, and they decided that C has very less compared to A, and B has again less compared to A, and they want to share. So what they want is they will put a cloth, they will put all the chocolate here and redistribute equally among all these people. So what they're gonna do? A will sit here, B will sit here, C will sit here. He will take one chocolate, then he will take one chocolate, then he will take one chocolate, and this will continue like this till the last chocolate is picked up by any of this one. Okay. So tell me, once this all process is done, how many chocolate each will have? But simply, he means like if we have to redistribute everything equally, how much one will get? That's the question. So simply you can do is total number of chocolate you will compute. That's A has 3 plus A has 5, B has 3, and C has 1. So 5, 3, 8. 8 plus 1 equals to 9. 9 chocolate we have. So if 9 chocolate, it has to be distributed among 3 people, you have to divide it. And when you divide it, 3 chocolate. That means this 3 people, this is chocolate and this is people. Okay, so so 9 chocolates and 3 kids. Okay, so when you divide it, you will get answer as 3, and on top it was chocolate and divided by kids. So 3 chocolate per kid they will get. This is average. Average is redistributing the resource to everyone and then understand how much individual get. Okay, equally. Okay, that's the thing. So that's averaging. So if we do averaging on A, suppose 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, what number of chocolate now I want to get. If I have to redistribute this equally to everyone, what is the chocolate each will get? So I'm just calculating what will the average of this one. So select A, right? And I wanted to average of A from now. Do I have a column? I have column like this. So I will simply copy paste this section. We'll paste it here and run it. I get 1.800000000000, and why reason is because when you divide something, okay, they automatically take floating as division goes for floating as a domination. Okay, so it will convert into floating automatically unless you make both integer specifically. Or what you can do, you can simply make it integer, so it will round off automatically. So 1.8 becomes 2, right? But I don't want that. I want numeric. Okay, with total number of significant. Suppose I want like suppose what I want. Mm, I want 2 on the right side and on the left side suppose 4. So 2 plus 4 6. 6 will be precision and 2 will be my on the right side. So on the left will be 4. Oh, so it's allowed 1.80. That's I want, right? So this dot dot is like basically type conversion when you want to convert from one type to another type. So this is good, okay? This logic you understand. If not, I will just reiterate. 6 means total number of digits, including left and right side of the dot. This is called precision, okay? This is called scale. That is total number of digits on the right side of the dot. So I defined 2 here. Total was 6. So 2 minus 6, that means 4. So on the left sides of the dot or decimal, maximum number of digits it can hold will be 4. So we are clear on the average, right? Let me do an average for column number C or column name C, right? select average on column C, and I need to do from. Now I want to create that array using this one. So I just copy paste the timing. We don't have to put efforts on this one. Let's run it, and we got this one. And again, we're gonna do numeric now again. So double colon, that means I want a typecasting. I want to convert this data into numeric one, where I have total number of digit allowed 6. 2 will be allowed on the right side of the decimal. Now run it. 2.20, that's my average. Okay. So with this, I got the average understanding, right? So I will copy paste this one. Perfect. So I want this. Perfect. Let's quickly go to this one. So first one is done. That was your average is done. Now we'll look for min, max, sum, and count. Let's go boolean, count star and count any. This is the one we are looking for, right? This is the two thing we are. So now we are done with average, that is redistribution, and understand how much individual entity get when it is equally redistributed. Average is done. Now we need to understand the count. What does count represent? Count compute the total number of input rows. Okay, then asterisk is used. When count any, compute the number of input rows in which input values are is not null. You see the difference here. You see the exact difference. It says when I use count star, that means it return the number of records, number of entities. When I ask count column, a combination of a column, that means he want me to he want me give the count of the columns which have values. A null is not a value, right? It's a state. So there's a difference of where you are trying to count. When you use count star, that means it's counting the table, and table means number of records. But when you are counting the column, that is attribute, how many attribute you have as a count, that means null cannot be included. You remember this thing, okay? And this is really good. This is really good. I think most of the people know, but I think few 10 or 20% people don't know about this one because they directly start using them without understanding how to and what to do. So remember, when you write count, it means counting. Okay, both have the same function or functionality. But when you use a star, that means it work on table. So in table, it count number of entities. Okay? But when you write column, a combination of column, it count the values inside the column, and here it count the entities inside the table. Okay, that means count star will always greater than equals to count of column. Obviously, suppose count star there were three records, so it will give me three, right? This one. In the entities, there were one column only. Okay, suppose 1, 2, 3. What is it? Its value was 1, its value was 2, and it was empty. Now, what will be the count? It count the values inside the columns or combination of columns, right? One value, two value, it's not a value, so it will be right. Suppose there were two columns. This one it have value 1, 2, 2, 1, and both were null and null 3. So count star will be 4 because 4 record 1, 2, 2, 1 is a value, null 1 is a value, null is not a value, so it will be 3. Let me check if my understanding is right so far or not. Okay, I will write select count star, and it give me as. Now I'm changing the column. You see here, column name was average, and that's not something I want. I want it to have a proper name so that if I use it somewhere, it does give me proper understanding. So it's called aliasing, right? Aliasing. We will go with aliasing. It gave me entity count. Entity, right? Where in a table. That's first thing. Now I do only count B as uh attribute attribute count in column B, right? That's it. Now I want this from table from now this thing will come. I'm just copy pasting it because I don't want to write it again. This one unrest. This is the column one, column two, column three. And see here the number of entities. How many entity? One, two, three, four, five. Five entities there. The answer will be five for first one. Second one, the attribute. Number of attributes in the column B. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, so five. Both should be five. Answer should be five, 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 five. Right. But now instead of this one, I put it was null. Even if I don't write it, automatically take the null value. So you see here, this is something we already checked for, right? But I want to look it very universal or very uniform. So now see 5 and 4 is coming. See, it give me a number of entities in the table. It give me the number of values in a column. There's a difference between both of them. It give me number of entities in a column or in a table. It give me number of attributes uh, in a column. Now suppose I take a combination of B and C. It has one null, right? So do you think it will give me 5 or 4? Answer should be, it should, as a combination, it is a value null or something, right? Now it shows me an error. What is show? No function matches the given argument. So in a count, I cannot give multiple columns, right? That's what it want to say. But what will happen if I create them as concat? That will be fun, right? So B is already there. Let me concat with it using this one and see. I will type convert it into text. Oh, what you gonna do? And I told you when null is contagious, like no matter what operation, automatic operation or this string operation you do, it convert everything into null. So when I was concatenating null with an integer, it will automatically give me null, and then the answer is again same 4. Oh, what? But let me look at this one. And compute the number of input rows in which the input have the value. But here it says rows. That means I can have multiple rows, right? Why can't I see I'm able to use multiple columns here? Well, let me write. See, it failed, right? No function matches given this argument type. You might need to explicitly add the typecast. I don't think it's the same. Let me write both convert into text. No function matches the given. I think I need to ask this guy, why can't I take down on multiple columns? Or why I'm doing the wrong here? buddy, count only take one argument. This is the one. See, this is the one I was looking for. But what it says, compute the number of input rows in which the input value is not null. But again, it never said, even if you say any, it never said only one column is taken, dude. They should specify this. They should have informed me on this one. So can take only one argument. Interesting, interesting. Okay, but I think count is also done. Aggregate. Now, there was nothing in the count, but it was fun, dude. It was fun doing this one. It failed, but I think I had fun on doing the aggregate count. Okay, now the next one that we have to do is min, max, and sum. Average is done. Count, we also learned something new and different. Now we have to learn about sum and min and max, right? Let's look for this if we can find it. Okay, maximum and minimum is there. And then we have sum as well we have, and with this we are able to cover it. After this we will get back and see this if we can learn more, because we need to learn at least basic as much as possible. For this one I think we don't need it, maybe in future or something, but not at the mode with order set. What is percentile this percentile count? Maybe in the future, but not now. Rank. Oh, but ranking, dense rank, and this one I think is already part of this one. Rank, right? Rank and dense rank is there. So rank, dense rank, percentage rank, then we will learn it. But I think mm, grouping, we don't need to do it right now. We don't have to do it. Maybe when we will reach here, then we will do it. Right now, this is not part of our requirement. Once we get there, we will learn it. We don't have to jump. See, the problem is like you can learn anything and everything in a single day, but then it won't follow a structure. And we are going through structure, and that's why I don't want to touch. Because I learned in a hard way. This was supposed to be completed. The week one was supposed to be completed within 7 days. I took 14 days. And reason was very simple, that I was trying to learn everything in a very broader perspective. I was not learning specifically, because that's why I created this roadmap to follow this specifically. There will be chance that I will miss out 10 or 20%. That's fine, but 80-90% is covered. With that 89 or 80 or 90%, you can achieve everything else. And in case you still stumble on something, ask that 10%. You can learn it. If you can learn everything 90% properly and very in detail, that 10% can be learned very easily. You don't have to bother about that one. What you have to bother is to follow this thing properly, and that's something I'm going to follow. Okay, I'm taking a break. I don't want to much. We take a break. Let's see if there is anyone following here. In case. Oh, Aura, 4 out of 10 follower. Mhm. I look old, dude. I need to work on my face. This look really bad. Okay, let me take a break. It's fun. I'm back, guys. Don't worry, I'm not running away. Just quickly start this one. So right now, is there anyone who joined and have any question? Nope. Let's get started. Perfect. So maximum. Compute the maximum of the non-null input value available for any numeric, string, date type, or enum type, as well as a byte, unit, interval, money, OID, PGLSN, PID, XID8. What is this? I don't know. Maybe some type of data type, and also arrays and composite type containing sortable data type. But the question is, does it treat text same as input type? The question is, does it take only one series, one column? Same as like how the this thing count was taking. Let me write here. Does min max also takes only one column like count? Hmm, it's like a weird clause, right? Interesting. Hmm. But Mhm. That's true, dude. Why I didn't thought of that one? This one here, there's one thing that it was running, right? It ran because only it can accept one this one. What will happen if I count this thing of P as this thing B P, right? I can see the A, B, C, and A will be removed, and this thing null will occur like A, B, C, null, and then count will be 1, 2, 3 because null will be dropped. Or if I remember, it can be done like this. Now it had an issue. No function matches the given type. Ah, mhm. Same. That means even if I'm using distinct, it has to give me one copy. All standard take only one column. These are non-aggregate, so they work across the column horizontally. Okay, least great. Oh, hey. So it's like a function, but it's not exactly aggregated, but it's count. Oh, this is a function. This is aggregation, and these are like a function, so it can work on the parameter provided as a string. This is interesting, dude. This is literally interesting. But at least, but least and greatest take multiple argument. Wow, that's interesting. But again, I need to see. I understood one thing from here. But if I do like select minimum of say A, and I want to select maximum of A, right? And I want to do from, and this is my table, right? That's I have created using array and then pivot it into my this one. So 1 and 3, and it does make sense, right? Isn't it right? But the biggest problem is like now let me write it B, 1 and C. But, 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 least min of A, min of max of A, C, suppose C. Now, which one has the least? It got me 1. But if I write instead of this, I write A comma B comma C, it won't run because it has an error, right? What will happen if I do this? And I take this and run it. Okay. Least type integer text cannot be matched. Okay, that means I need to take 1. Let's run it. Ah, okay. One thing I think I understood one thing. Okay, so cool, right? Greatest A comma C. But the problem is okay, it should be same type homogeneous data series. Perfecto. So aggregate work on the column level, and least and greatest work on horizontal. So least and greatest work on the attribute of same entity, whereas minimum and maximum aggregate work on the attribute of different entities. So column wise. Okay, let me show you with example to say it's simple and it's so fun, right? So this is your table, right? And initially tray was like this. Every entity value is there, right? This is E1, E2, E3, E4. So if you aggregate, what aggregate does, it take this row. That means it take the attribute of all the entities and then converge into a single value. Be it average when redistribution done uniformly, minimum or maximum value of this one, or I have to count the attribute A, say A. Okay, but sometime we have that's like this is something that compute on the attribute, same attribute of the different entity. But sometimes we have to compute the attribute of the same entity, this one horizontal. That's where if I have to do minimum and maximum for the attribute value, I can use greatest and then I can use least. And this is so interesting, dude. This is literally interesting. This is so interesting, dude. Cool. Okay. Oh my god, this is fun. This is so fun. This is so fun, dude. Since now aggregate always have the highest priorities, okay? So the problem is if I run like this, I just try to compute on the record level, but it is trying to merge the min max aggregate on the merge column level. So it will show an error. It is indeed. That is, I need to convert this value on the min and maximum because ultimately it is grouping the things. I can write here like minimum of A and minimum of B. So I want to take the minimum value of the minimum from these two entities, right? Or the maximum of these two. Okay. And I don't want E and B, and I don't want this one. I can keep it, leave it. Okay. If I run this one, see what happened. It gave me the minimum of A, give me maximum of B, then it give me the least value in this two attribute of A and C, and it give the least greatest value among the A and C. But again, what is happening? It is I'm comparing the converge value of one attribute of different attributes with the converge value of attribute of the second. I think it is possible at times. So what happened like when you try to compute same attribute in different scenarios, then you can check. Let me give very good example on this one. Suppose you have a bird. Okay, you have bird. Okay, flock of birds. Okay, and what you do, you are trying to get its speed. Okay, speed, how fast they can fly. Okay, you start recording. Okay, for bird one, bird two, bird three, bird four. Okay, but there is a catch. You take the speed in desert area, then you take the speed in hilly area, and then speed in plain area. Okay, same bird because it belongs to the same bird, right? But it's flying in different environment. You record it. Okay, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. You don't have to worry. Now what you do, because these are the flock of these are the birds of the same flock. Okay, so they are flying in the same batch or in the same flock. You can simply take average. You take all the speed and then redistribute to everyone. You get the average speed in your desert, and the average speed in your hilly area, then average speed in your uh plain area. Right now, you get this idea. And now you have to understand what the minimum speed, the maximum speed they were running in all the speed. You need to compare, right? You take it like you take the minimum now, minimum, 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 and then you take the minimum of as a whole, right? This is horizontal. You can say it horizontal, right? And this is parallel. And this minimum you can take it using least. Same with the maximum, maximum, and maximum. Now these three are coming as a column. Now you can do it this column into what your greatest. Got it, right? Simple, 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 simple. So this value, what it gonna give you, the it will give is the what is the minimum speed any of this bird was flocking, no matter where it is. This give the minimum speed in the desert. This give the minimum speed in the Himalayas. This gives the minimum speed in the plain. Same with the maximum, maximum, maximum. When you get it as a horizontal series, okay, horizontal series, then you can simply use the least and greatest. That will give you the value. Here, min and max won't work. Min and max work in the column level. For horizontal or record level, you need this min and max. Sorry, greatest and least. So this is interesting, dude. This is interesting. So this is okay. So it's the same. It will take one uh, vertical column. So it will take multiple rows. It will take multiple columns. One column and then one row. So So this is the one, anything apart from this min and max done. I think now we can simply go to the sum. And sum again, it computes the sum of non-digit input values. Simply sum it. So I will simply write minimum, maximum at a column. This is called aggregate. Then least and greatest at entity level. Yeah, okay. So no, okay, this is done, right? Now let's go for the sum and the final one that we are doing. It's 3:30, dude. 3:40. We have last session after this, but interestingly, we cover a lot, dude. Way more than I thought. Sum and sum also again same as it work on the column level or the attribute of different entities. That means we can take only one at a time. Now I'm thinking if I have to do horizontal, is there any way like greatest of this one or simply you? I think we can do plus sign, right? If this is the case, count doesn't make sense. How I will know what's the total number of columns in a table? I'm trying to figure out. I'm doing aggregate for the count, right? Is there a value I can get the aggregate of count on the horizontal level? Means number of attribute in this one. Let's see, let's see. It's gonna be really interesting, dude. This is really interesting. You don't know, but I always waste my time doing this kind of nonsense thing a lot of time, and it never yield anything. But now it's like I find it really interesting to do it. Let's continue. Okay, so let's quickly go select same. We will simply write sum, and I want to do sum of column A as sum call A, and I want to do sum B that will fail because of data type. That's why I kept it so that we know that we're gonna fail. But before that, it will fail because of syntax one because we haven't separated using comma here. Now simply I need to from is for referencing the table or table expression that we need to get. And now table expression. Now either you can give the address to the relational database management system or you can create a table using table expression. And I'm doing the same. I'm creating a table using this logic where I define multiple arrays with comma separation. Now I am just pivoting them at the column for my table. And I name the table as T with the column this one. Simple, simple, simple. Now if I run it here, but fail. Why? Because does not exist function sum does not exist b here. No function matches the given name as type and the argument type. You might need to do explicit casting. It does the same thing. If I remove this one, that's all. And it does give me the answer. But I'm sure I can do a sum of C as sum for column C, right? I can do this one because this data type is this one. And answer I get the answer right. Now I got this as a single record, right? Then I can do least, right? What is the least among two? LP is the least among sum of A and sum of B, because now what we are doing aggregate, right? We are compressing it. So this is something I want to do among the which one is this one or greatest. Sum again A and sum again B, right? And I can simply name it as least val for call A and C, right? That's the one. And I want to see as greatest value for column A and C. Let's try it. Now it show an error. What error shows here that sum that's okay, right? Again, same. You cannot add column or the collection of attribute of different entities if the value stored into value stored in it is a string, right? You cannot add a string. You can concatenate a string. This one, I got the answer now, right? This one. The least is 9 and the highest is 11 in the same format. Now you see here, I want to change the sequence. And I told you the column is maintained hierarchically properly. Now I got the answer. I think there is nothing here to discuss for the sum. Okay, now this is done. But let's see now if I can do something, I can learn something more. I'll add this to here, this one. Perfect. Let's quickly deep dive here. Okay, now this is the basic one that it says the basic one or like the general purpose. So general purpose is always used a lot of time, like any value. Despite the fact that it was giving me one, let's now implement this any value, right? Right? I want to implement it because now I know how to do array and I will create my own array right now. So I want to select, I want to use any value, right? And from I want to create a table expression by myself using array and nest. So I will take an array, okay, and array value will 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I will have another array which will store the, this is the idea, this is the name, Nitin, Robert, Abba, uh, Abba, and Rose. Perfect. This is done, but this is an array. It is not the value, right? So let's convert into a table using nest. So I will just pivot it and I will name it as table T with column name as ID, comma name. Let's now it is throwing me error because I haven't defined. Let's run this one and see if my table expression perfect. It does give me the proper values. Now what I want to take one random value from ID. So I think random ID. Do you think it will give me a random ID here? No, it is not. So let me take any value for column A or column ID. It give me one. But if I look at this one, it is giving me always the top value, not a random value is generating. I want to get a random value. But see here, it's a returns an arbitrary value from the non this arbitrary means very randomly, right? How I can assign, but randomly. I want to check if it random. No. No function matches the given type. You might need to explicitly this one. I think it takes series or something like array. I'm not sure. Like let me see if it work with array. Okay. 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma. Let's see if it does work. No, it does not. Random, I don't know, dude. I thought like random can pick randomly. Any value, see, any value, it is working fine for the name it is giving, but every time it is giving me the first value of the array, and that's something I don't want to see. Array aggregate, any non-array order by input short this one. Collect all input values, including nulls, into an array. No? Collect all the input values, including null, into an array. Aggregate array. This is I'm not boolean. Boolean non-boolean or returns true if all the non-null input values are true, otherwise false. Return true if all non-null input values are true. But in case if it is false, boolean and let me run this one. But any value is still true. Alright, any value is always giving me the let me restart this one, dude. Always giving me what first of the column value. So that actually expected here, but technically it's not guaranteed. But anyway, actually it written an arbitrary value from a group Postgres just happened to return first row in the package, but it's non-determined deterministic. You never rely on it always being the first. Uh, answer it positionally. Okay, it will answer same position. No order, just any non-null value. Don't care which. Okay. Can I use random? I don't understand if they have something like random or something. Yes, you can use random order by random. So must a order by random limit. Okay. Okay. Array using array and random. So order by random. Eventually a random. What random does? I don't understand this one. Any value and color. Single column. Right. But I don't understand what random is doing. Random. Select random, and I'm gonna execute this one. Okay, okay, but I want a range between 1 comma 4 or 100. Okay, it is randomly giving me this one. Okay, it is giving me randomly. But I want to start. Okay, unrest, order, by, random. I want to understand one thing, how it is able uh, how random is able to work with order. Like, you know, random generate a random web float from 0 to 1. Okay. What happened when used with order by Postgres called random once for each row, assigning a random number to it and short by that number. A, okay. So essentially it's shuffling the row. Wow. Mm. Mm. So this one random assign then short. Okay. Even if it's in order by it execute later and then it compute. Perfect. Perfect. It does sound really interesting. Here, if I want a value between a range randomly, randomly and and it should be integer, then how to it uh reducible random fixed set seed point 0.5 random mode. But random 1 comma 100 1 because it can be 0, right? So it will be 0 random. PostgreSQL. But I ran it ran successfully, buddy. Oh, interesting. PostgreSQL 1.8, I guess. Oh, yep. Medium actually integer in range, numeric in range. Oh, yep, 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 yep. See, he's not playing with the rule. He's not playing with the rules. So, dude, that's wrong. So, if I want decimal data type to be produced randomly from 1 to 100 without using random twice to add on this integer, how can we do it? So I don't want I give the range minimum maximum simply. Yeah, Okay, okay, okay. Let me check it. Let me check it. Let me check it. Okay, so now random, I change 1 to 100 point. This one, so technically is oh dude, why I'm making mess here? Mess, mess. Yep, yep. It is indeed. I want to understand if I use random, can they also return the limiters? Yes, limiters like min and max can return one. Okay, so it's like inclusive. So can't filter. Oh, what's the difference between filter and where? Here we should uh both filter rows, but they work at different level. Filter rows before aggregation. Generate series. Will this work? Let me check. Generate a series does it have. I remember dude one. I think I remember the, but it will automatically. I want to generate it. So it can and filter row inside an aggregation. Okay, when I merge it, at that time I need to filter out for individual aggregation. That's where it will be useful to. Makes sense. Where clause work on the entire table and that will work on the aggregation, that means column level. Okay, so got it. Single aggregate only. Whole query, one per query, one per aggregate, single query aggregate. Removed, still visible. Hmm, makes sense. Just while computing it doesn't like okay during that computation it's like it physically remove it in the system and it's like well I'm calculating it remove it makes sense. It's fun dude, it's fun, but this is not what I'm looking for. What I was thinking to do, what I was thinking to do, generate series. I want to select a star from generated series from 1 to 10, and I don't want to break it, so let's keep it cool. It failed. No function matches on this one. Okay, it is not matching. That means there is no function like this. Or function generator series, no function match. That means my spelling is wrong, or the generate series, not generate a series. Generate series. That's generated. Oh, interesting. Interesting. It does generate like this. But if I use like this, can I still get the answer? Yep, because it's one. Hmm. But can I create a table with this too? Like, no. Okay, I got it. Generate series. It generate me a series. This is interesting. Generate series, right? Perfect. Given this one, it gave me series. But if I were like, it will start one and two. But I want a skip of two. Perfect. It's same that I was thinking. And if it's 3, it's gonna be 1, 4, 7, and 10. Perfect. It does make sense to me. Perfect. Now it gave me this. Interesting, dude. Interesting. Generate series. But can I create multiple column tables using generate generate underscore series multiple times? This will be interesting if it can. Yes, you can unnest. I was right. I was thinking the same. If I do ID 1 to 5 ID and be careful for cross join. What's gonna be cross join, dude? Comma call. Yeah. This gives 5 into 5. What's the difference between these two? 1 comma 5 and then generate series 10 to 50, 10 to 50. P2 salary. How come it generate? This is interesting. If I need to understand this one. See, I told you, it's gonna be cross one, dude. How can it? No, this is not how it's gonna work. It's gonna be cross join. How can I make sure only one get attached to this one? I don't know. Maybe in the future I can check it, but one comment. Look, everyone is unique, right? But then the average value will come. I was thinking something. I'm not sure it's gonna work or not, but I think it should work technically. So group by uh, ID, and I want ID, and then I just need any value from this set, a partial set of group that I created with salary. Again, it is taking only 10, dude. That's I should take randomly, but every random is getting me. Buddy, buddy, can you check for latest version if if any value is returning only the first record values? Good. Now if just the count is done, count every boolean, I don't know. JSON, I don't know. Range aggregate value, any range. Is confirmed is defined as arbitrary. Buddy. Can you give me something else that I can use instead of any value? If I have to choose randomly, how can I get it? I need only one value. I generate it in the column, but then it's gonna be with No. See, I am doing group by at column ID and then choose salary randomly. Anyone joined anything, dude? Dude. 113 one watching. I am the only one watching this one. Selliers, this one group by ID and random salary difference and ID array aggregate. This is I dude. We are using it here. I need to learn now how it does. This is the one order by random group by ID. So I am doing group by ID. Okay, how I do? Oh, my interesting. I can do this way, dude. The way I was inserting data, right? I did it. I made it into a subquery, but then I assign it as Tableau. I am not actually doing the same, right? Yep, it makes sense. Now, what I do array aggregate. Okay, I'm okay. Unnest is the reverse of aggregation, so I will aggregate everything. Is it the real? Okay, salary order by oh my god, random, and then I take it one. So array aggregate. This is one array aggregate and aggregate. Not order by input short value any array. Collect all the input values, including null, into an array. Any array order by concatenates all input arrays into an array of one higher dimension. Okay. Hmm. So basically, it's converted into an array. I think I got what it's trying to do here. So now ID an array. I want to do group by. I already did the group by right here. Now let me do the same as this one. I want to convert into an aggregate array and array aggregate. Okay, aggregate. For example, unrest I just pivot it. Now I need to pivot it back to the same. So array aggregate, and then I need to give the column I want to aggregate as salary. And but when I aggregate it, I don't want to pivot it. This one I want to do it randomly. So order by random, perfect. And once that is done, I want to take only the first item. Okay, what is the problem here? Do I need to like do like this? Oh, oh. So now 50, 30, 10, 50, 20. This is interesting. So what does array act do? Basically, doesn't detect to as my English is going to the form. Okay, so step and group by ID collect. Okay, So when I do aggregate salary, it just make it into, oh, it's unnesting, and I'm doing nesting array that using array aggregate. Okay. Now all the salaries per group are collected into an into an array. Okay. Now shuffle that array randomly. Shuffling. Oh. So when I'm putting that into a group like in the same order, I'm just, but again the order is not maintained. Right now they are maintaining the order, I guess. Okay. I randomly selected. Now pick one. Right. Pick the first element. Okay, if I put here as 0, no. But I know there is a maximum 3. Uh, no, 5, right? Suppose I put 100. Again, if it's in the not in the range, it will put the no. Okay, got it. So aggregate, I can do distinct salary order by. Then I can do distinct. Uh-huh. Then I can do first. Let me take a 5 minute break. And then I can do array length and count the element same as count. Uh, what does that one means? But when I used this one with array aggregate salary order by random, I need to put these function inside braces before pending or is y. Error bracket work. Wrap the entire function result first and then index into the same context in every single day. But in Postgres, aggregation function need explicit wrapping before subscriptions without braces. Okay, here I can access. Similarly, function and aggregate function always needed. Always needed. So whenever you are indexing into an aggregate function result, always wrap it in braces. Thumb rule. This is interesting rule, dude. I want to keep it for my future references. Don't know why, but I find it really, really interesting. And I'm 5 minutes left to retire. I want to keep this as well. Interestingly, I did a lot of interesting thing today. This is done. Okay, so I need to close today because I already exceeding my time. What? Okay, it represent dimension. So it's a one-dimensional array. If it's two and two, then it will give me the length. Ah, one dimension with five element, two dimension with six element, and three dimension with two- three columns. So three array length, length, one dimension. So one, two, three dimension one, two, and dimension three. But question is, how much is it? Two and three. Array length is says total number of elements. If it's one array, that means one length, one dimension. So two is two dimension. That means this one and this one. What is coming as like dimension length, right? One, two, three. Okay, leave it. It's confusing at time. I don't want to get into it right now. This is enough for today. Interestingly, I completed this thing. Is here. We learn a lot, and then we have. So any question before I close this and we meet tomorrow? So those guys who are new, we always do live sessions. So if you want to join to have a fun, you can simply come and join. Let me close it for today. I hope